I know exactly what they would say. If they have little kids, they would say like, well, as soon as I get out of bed, the toddler gets up because he can hear me. And so there's just no winning.
Then spank him.
Yeah.
Well, or take him with you. Like,
Or take him with you.
give him some
Fine.
grapes or whatever.
Yeah, we'll talk about, yeah. All right, welcome to the Bacon Bibles and Barbells podcast. I'm Coach Justin, joined by Coach Emily and Coach Amanda. Today we're talking about why you are not too busy to work out or take care of yourself. This might upset some people, but that's the conclusion. So if that offends you already, stop there. But if you're offended but intrigued, then stick around. We'll talk more about it. There are practical things that we've helped people navigate, of course, but yeah, we have heard every excuse from everybody, basically, and we've had to navigate this ourselves. We're all parents. We have lots of work to do. We've all been involved in our churches. We've had jobs and or self-employment or entrepreneurial endeavors. Like, there's always an excuse to not train. There's no season of life where there's not an excuse to not train. They exist at all times and all places. The key is navigating, one, taking responsibility, and then, of course, doing the thing, reorienting your life. If you have life habits that don't allow for room to train, then the key is to obviously make room to train. So, what are some popular excuses that parents have, in particular, to not train? Like, specifically, though, not like, I'm a parent, I can't train. Like, some people say that, but, specifically, what do especially moms. I feel like with moms, it's a little bit more, because guys will be like, yeah, I could, I just don't. But I feel like especially moms are more likely to be like, I just can't because my kids or whatever. So like, what are you guys hearing from the ladies?
I've heard like, what am I going to do with my kids during that time? So they don't have anywhere to be, so I can't do it. Or I have to get them ready for school in the morning, or I have to, if you're homeschooling, I'm homeschooling all day. By the end of the day, I'm just too tired. Or they have activities in the evening, so I can't do it then. The whole, every time of day, there's some reason that is given.
Are your kids up at 5 a.m.? Oh, great.
Right. Well, I know exactly what they would say. If they have little kids, they would say like, well, as soon as I get out of bed, the toddler gets up because he can hear me. And so there's just no winning.
Then spank him.
Yeah.
Well, or take him with you. Like,
or take him with you.
Give him some grapes or whatever.
Yeah. We'll talk about, yeah. That one really is not that hard to solve. It's, you can do it early in the morning. And if there is an issue with your kids getting up, then figure out a way to structure things so they actually are used to staying in bed, because that is a child that's used to not being in bed when they should be. And so like that's probably a discipline issue, because kids can stay in bed. Our kids didn't want to stay in bed. We trained them to stay in bed. That's something you have to do, because they don't tend to come out of the womb wanting to stay in bed at all times. They're not usually built that way. So it is a training thing with your kids, and you could take them. The other thing, too, is like have a home gym. We have clients that have a bunch of kids, and the mom just trains at home. There's always a way to make it work. Like, even if you don't have a garage or whatever, you can do a lot with dumbbells. There's all sorts of stuff that can be done. So, like, yes, that is a barrier. Acknowledged, it's valid. But also, you need to acknowledge that it can be overcome. It's going to take some work. And with all the things we're going to talk about as solutions, building habits takes a couple weeks. Excuse me. And after that, it gets a lot easier. Like, it's really like the initial barrier to entry with training is can be a lot challenging, because there's the intimidation factor, there's the it's not in your daily routine type of factor, and those types of things, and you get stuck in these ruts of I do this at this time, and things kind of happen organically or whatever. It takes being deliberate to make those changes. But it is doable. It is possible. And one way is to get up before your kids. And if your kids are going to get up early too, if you do, then figure out a way to navigate that. It is possible. You're not the only parent who's had kids that don't want to stay in bed when you get up in the morning.
Yeah, I think that that's a really big deal for the moms. I agree with everything Amanda said. That's exactly what I hear. It's like, it's usually a scheduling thing in their minds of like, well, then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. But really what's happening is like, basically you want like your husband to come to you and say like, hey, from 8 to 9 every day, you are going to go work out and I am going to watch the kids and you can have a perfectly quiet, like me time, workout, shower time sort of thing. And that's just not mom life. And so if you want to do it, you're going to have to learn to make it work with your kiddos in tow. What I see most of the time is like women think they can't work out because they're waiting for the perfect situation for it. And it's just not going to happen.
I've even heard the like examples of a husband who is making the time to work out, and the wife's excuse is, "I can't because that's his time to work out."
Right,
Like,
right.
Okay, well, pick a different time.
Yeah, maybe that's his time. Let's
Or
talk
go
about
together.
your time. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
is he going to stop doing that? Well, then neither should you. So
Right.
Yeah. And there are a lot of gyms that offer childcare. Like
Tons.
a lot
Yeah.
of gyms. If you're near a city, there is a gym that offers childcare. I have a bias toward just having a home gym anyway. Not everybody can do that, but everybody can have some stuff at home. Like
Yeah.
you can go pretty far, especially if you're a beginner, with bands and dumbbells. And those don't take up a whole lot of space. You can do it in your living room. Yeah, it's not as great as a gym. It kind of is a little more challenging and difficult because you got to get it all out and then put it all away. It takes you 5 minutes. Like,
yeah, and a
these
lot of
are-
people have a treadmill in their house somewhere that's being used to hang laundry on. Like,
Yep.
clean that up,
Yeah.
put it away, get on it.
the laundry hanger treadmill. It's what they all like, the elliptical with clothes draped all over it. So this is a good question. What do we think of the phrase, we all have the same 24 hours?
I mean, does anyone have longer or shorter than that in a day?
I don't. Sometimes
So,
it feels like it's shorter, but it's not actually.
Right. And yeah, I mean, the number of hours in the day is the same for everybody.
Yeah.
How you use them is different. How much you have packed in your schedule is different. So that's something to look at. And it's not a bad idea to just sit down with a calendar and block things out, color code it if you want to. These are the times I'm doing these activities and only the important stuff. And it'll become pretty clear where there's a window of time that you're probably using for something else.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, for
screen
sure.
time,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, I see both sides of the coin on this one. Like you said, we, in just reality, we do all have the same 24 hours. And so it is, up to you in how you use it. Just like you said, how you schedule it and everything. At the same time, we do have different responsibilities within those 24 hours. And so obviously it's going to be way easier for a college kid to go work out than it is for a mom of 5, that sort of thing. And so there's nothing wrong with that. Like you have more hours of your day already accounted for than like the college kid would, but you do still have time. And like you said, there is usually more fluff than you think there is in your day, but you might be already using it for something else, like screen time or, just phone calls, or maybe you sit and listen to a podcast with your kids or, something like that. And so not that those things are necessarily bad, but like we're going to talk about in a few minutes, like we don't actually need that much time to make a really big impact. And so you can usually find enough time to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things where, we'll get into some of the other stuff too, but like in general, training is one of those things that it's an investment of your time. It shouldn't be looked at as taking away your time. It will generally make you more efficient at life. Like, do you have time to be sick? Mm-hmm. You're going to be sick more often if you don't train. And eventually you're also likely to develop health conditions that could make your life shorter. and these, it makes you less efficient in general to when you're not training. So all those things you have to do, you get more proficient at them when you're training. This is like, it does multiply. And I also think people have misconceptions about how much time you need to train. Like, for example, like I'll just use myself as an example, and we'll kind of talk about other things that we've done. I typically don't train more than, realistically, like 3 or 4 hours a week. I rarely have trained more than that. And like when I'm competing, it may bump up to 4 or 5, but that's just mostly because of the logistics of like how long it takes for me to warm up to squat and over 600 pounds and loading plates and things like that. Or if I'm training strongman, like how long it takes to set up all like a bunch of implements and put them away. It's not really pure training time per se. So like the last year and a half since I haven't been competing, and hopefully we'll get to it at someday. I've trained like I even had a season of life last year where I probably trained about 2 hours a week. And I just fit as much volume as I possibly could into that 2 hours. But I was training 2 days a week, and it was 1 hour each time, and that was that. Lately, it's been...
You can maintain quite easily just on 2 days a week.
Yeah, actually, I think I looked my best at the end of last spring when I wrapped up that training block, and I had only been training 2 hours a week. Like I think I did that for about 4 months. I would actually contend that, like, for bodybuilder purposes, that was probably, and I was training like a bodybuilder, that I probably looked the best I'd ever looked. I was fairly lean. My shoulders were the biggest they'd ever been. I wasn't my strongest, but I hadn't been training strength. But my volume tolerance was the highest it had ever been, probably. And I actually probably looked the best, like at that time, probably like May or June or so of last year. Things were just structured right to support that. And that's part of where the key is too, is like getting the best you can out of your time. I remember talking to someone right before they hired me, and I was like, well, how much time do you, because they were talking about time. And I was like, well, how much time do you think I spend training a week? They're like, well, looking at you, you probably train like, 10 or 20 hours or something. And I was like, no, I train usually 3 hours, like sometimes up to 4. It's usually like, right now, it's about 4 45-minute sessions a week. That's it. That's all it takes. And that's for me to like push it way harder than most people are going to push it. Like, I don't need to have more muscle mass. I just want more muscle mass. It's not for health purposes for me to get any bigger. it's for fun.
Right. This extends beyond just training as well. Like, I've heard the time excuse for meal prepping. Like, I just don't have time to do that. Like, okay, well, meal prepping is not the only way to eat healthy. You still have to eat. So, there's, or, maybe you need shorter recipes. You need something that's a little more grab and go. There's the excuse happens for nutrition just as often, sometimes even more often than training, but you got to eat anyway. Let's figure out what you can do to make it take less time to prepare.
Right. And what I tell people, like, is it may take you like slightly more time up front to like learn how to do your workouts efficiently, to learn what it looks like for you and your family to eat healthy. But it's only really going to be like a month or 2 of that. So like, just commit, just be like, okay, for the next 2 months, my focus and my budgeted extra time needs to go towards this. Because if you will put in that investment up front, it gets way easier and takes less time for the rest of your life. But it's like, it's almost like you don't have time to learn the thing. But if you take the time to learn it, learn a new skill, learn some new habits, it might take a little bit of extra time for the first month or 2, but that's an investment in literally the whole rest of your life.
Yeah,
I think it sometimes feels like more time, even if it's not. It's because it's something new. Yes. Novelty always seems to make time slow down. Right. But eventually it becomes a disciplined routine.
Right. It's like when you move into a new house and all of a sudden cooking is taking you longer because you're like learning a new kitchen. And like you had every step memorized in your old kitchen. And so even though you're making the same meals, like you are just less efficient at it. And that's okay. Like within a month, you're good to go. But you do have to put in that time. You can't just be like, oh, I hate this new kitchen. Like, look at, everything's taking forever. Like, just do it. Like, you have to just do it.
That's the, like, you do it the starting is the hardest part. But once you start, it becomes incredibly easier. You just have to sort of get through that phase. And after you're through that phase of starting, like it becomes part of your life. And you also realize like how much better you feel, how much better you are just at life, that it kind of makes time for itself.
Yeah.
It is a problem that in a sense solves itself. Again, like you don't like one of the best things for like avoiding illness is actually training. Diet too. But like they've actually done studies on people that like only training, you know, that's it, not necessarily worrying too much about their diet. And they just they got sick less. Like it is an immunity booster. Do you have time to be sick 5 times in the winter?
Right.
No, of course you don't. But if you spent that time training, and what's good about that is there's a difference between scheduled time and time that's taken from you that's not planned. Which would you rather have taken from you? Like unplanned time away is really disruptive. Scheduled time away is not really disruptive at all. And that's kind of, yeah, it's purposeful. Yeah, exactly. So like view it as this investment of your time that's going to make everything you do better and also make your life more predictable in general, which is going to help you with, again, that sort of time and efficiency. What are some of the common things that we see specifically getting in people's way as far as, you know, what can we cut out that might give people some of that time back?
I think if most people were to go check their screen time on what different apps, there's a way to do this in your settings on your phone. I think it would be shocking how much time you're actually wasting on the phone or on your tablet or whatever it may be. Some of us are very aware of it already, but most people, I think if you go check it, you're going to be like, oh, wow, it felt like 5 minutes. It's 2 hours.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's a big one.
Yeah. I think screen time is a really big one. And I've even heard some people like, well, that's my time to relax and this stuff. And it's like, well, you'll sleep a lot better if you've trained.
Yeah.
That's not helping you sleep. That's not making you healthier. It's often putting you in a weird dopamine loop that's unhealthy. Again, making you less efficient at life.
Mental acuity at all.
Yeah. Like, do you have time for Netflix in the evening or whatever other streaming platform? Mm-hmm. If you have time for that, you have time to train. And yeah, I get that unwinding in the evening is nice. That's great. Then change some things in your life so you can do both, if that's what's important to you. But like, which will you be glad that you did 20 years from now? That you watched that thing on TV or that you trained? Like everyone's going to answer that the same.
Right.
Nobody looks back, you know, when they're older and they're like, man, really glad I spent all that time streaming. That was super redeemable. And yeah, no regrets. It was great.
Yeah. Really glad I stayed on top of TikTok reels.
Yeah. Right. I get to stay on top of it. Like it's this duty.
Right.
Yeah. One of these two on the list that I do, like the all or nothing mentality, I think that actually goes to like the almost perfectionism kind of mindset that like, if I don't do it all perfectly, then it's not worth doing. Well, actually with training, that's not the case.
Yeah.
If you have to cut a workout in half, that's so much better than not working out at all. Great. Right. Then you only had half an hour that day and you only got through half the workout or whatever. Okay. That's a bummer, but like, you'll still be a lot better off. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Mm-hmm. It's such a big one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I think a lot
so
of
many
people
will have like wrong food choice in the morning, and then it's just, oh, well, I guess I can eat like trash for the rest of the day. I ruined it.
Right.
It's super common to do that. Or I only have 30 minutes instead of an hour to work out. I might as well just not go.
Yeah.
But that's just not true.
Right. And if you put that in the context of like anything else in life, it's so ridiculous. Like, oh, I got angry with my kid at breakfast, so I might as well be angry with them the rest of the day. Like, what in the world?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like the like Friday night dinner mistake that turns into a weekend binge, and then you're so discouraged. Now it's might as well kill the rest of the week too. And that can turn into months before you get back on track. Like, okay, like you did one thing wrong. Let's keep it at one thing wrong.
Yeah.
And move on with life and make it so it's not that big of a deal. But you're making a mountain out of a molehill if you take the one little thing that you did that wasn't perfect and like basically stepping away entirely from being productive.
Right. For a lot of people I've seen look at workouts. Well, for one, they have the wrong perception of how much time it actually takes. But they'll start to think about it in their head and be like, "Well, then I need an hour to work out in the gym, and then half an hour to shower, and an hour to do cardio, and I don't have 3 hours in a day." So in their head, it becomes this really big thing. When really it's like, well, do you have 20 minutes on Monday, and could you maybe squeeze in 20 minutes like on Thursday? Like. Just that alone would make such a big difference. But it's like, because they can't do the whole package that would make them a total gym rat, they'll just totally avoid it altogether.
Yeah. And the other thing too, the too many social or kid activities, that's a big one, I think, for a lot of parents, because they have their kids are involved in like 5 sports, and every evening they're taking them somewhere, and then they have social commitments. Maybe it's worth cutting some of that stuff out. Here's the thing, like, and yeah, I get what a lot of people are going to say, like, well, I only have this one chance to make these memories with my kids and stuff like that. Your kids will remember you training. What's more important? Like, yes, it's good that you spent that time with them. These are good and redeemable activities. But if it comes at the expense of you being an example to your kids, what's the point? And if it comes at the expense of you having as high quality time with them because you're not training, what's the point? What's the point if you're the parent who can't play with your kids because you're in too bad a shape, or your back gets thrown out every time you take them sledding, or if you do yard work with your kids and that always messes your back up or your hip or whatever the thing is? Like, if that's what's getting in the way, then actually the more important things you do with your kids are diminished. So like, then maybe it's time to cut something out. Like there's so many things you can take your kids to that are great things to do. I'm not saying they're bad. Like, involve your kids in sports. That's great. And whatever, like local community stuff. But if it's coming at the expense of taking care of yourself so that you can also enjoy your grandkids and have quality time with your children and be in shape, that's not a trade worth making. Neither is it if you're in so bad a shape that the things you actually do with them, because taking your kids to activities isn't, by the way, it's not really doing something with them.
Yeah.
Your transportation. I'm not saying these are bad things to do, but don't kid yourself that you're doing it with them. That's not like taking them to the park and playing with them. That's not like taking them sledding in the winter or whatever activity it might be, and like working with them in the yard or something like that. That's doing something with them. When you take them to a sporting event, you are transportation.
Yeah.
Not much more. And that's good. Again, good thing to do. But if it's at the expense of your health, not good. Just to this, again, your kids watch you. They see what you do. You are leaving a legacy, whether you believe it or not, or whether you recognize it or not, or whatever. Like, they're going to see what you're doing. And if they see the parent that's in bad shape because they were and they're tired all the time and all this stuff and grumpy because you took all the activities, and the mom that's overwhelmed because of all the activities, and they're so good for my kid. Is that really good for your kid if you're out of shape and a bad example? And when you are with them, you're so exhausted, you can't be beneficial and useful to them and present.
Right.
And you're escaping
and
by
it's okay
scrolling
for
on the
them
phone.
to be bored. Like, they don't have to be in everything. It's actually pretty good for their creativity to be bored. So let them be bored sometimes. They don't have to be in anything. But also, if you are taking them to a sport where you don't have to stick around, it's drop-off practice, do your workout then. I was a gymnast when I was younger, and I was competitive, and I went to practice 5, sometimes 6 days a week for a few hours at a time. My mom started a walking group with the other moms, and that's what they would do while we were at practice. Like, you can do something.
Yeah.
So that might be your perfect window to go do that. I do cardio at the Y while I'm watching my son practice football out the window. Like, that's my Thursday routine. That's when my cardio time is. So it's a good time to double up. Just because your kid is doing something doesn't mean you have to do the same thing. If it's something like a drop off, and if they're of the age that they can be left without you there.
Yeah, and
chance.
maybe pick activities that you could do that. Like, look for those ones. Look for the drop-off activities where you can leave and go to the gym or whatever.
Right.
Like, that's a great way to solve it. You want them to participate in activities? Cool. They participate in an activity while you're training.
Yeah.
It's a great way to solve that problem.
Yeah, and just don't get caught in like the trap of the culture. Like, our culture holds kids' sports, them becoming athletes, all the activities, very, very high. It's so honorable to be the dad that said, like, I never missed a soccer game, his whole life. I never missed a soccer game, stuff like that. Like, it's okay for you as a Christian family to want more for your kids and to have bigger, loftier goals. And if mom and dad are too weak, tired, brain foggy, low energy to execute those goals, like what's it worth?
Yeah. Yep. My name is Justin Johnson with High Calling Fitness. Maybe you're tired, gaining weight, waking up with joint pain, back pain, and a body that just doesn't feel like it used to. You've tried to fix it, but nothing seems to last. What if you don't need another app or crash diet, but a real coach, someone to meet you where you're at and walk with you step by step? At High Calling Fitness, our coaching comes to you wherever you are. No matter where you live, small town or city, across the country or across the world, your health still matters. You don't have to go it alone. We build personalized plans based on your goals, your schedule, and your equipment, even if it's just a set of dumbbells in a small space. This isn't just training, it's a personal partnership. You'll get weekly updates, one-on-one access to your coach, and ongoing support through Zoom and Slack every step of the way. We're here to help you build strength, restore energy, and claim the life you were meant to live. Book a free consult today. Let's talk about your goals and see how we can build something better together. High Calling Fitness, built for the everyday, ready for the extraordinary. Yeah, and this kind of goes back to the all or nothing mentality a little bit. Too much time spent researching and not doing. How many people, especially on social media? By the way, social media is not research. How many times did people post on, like, during COVID, I've done the research? That was like such a silly phrase. No,
right. Or telling other people to do your research.
Yeah, do your research. And it's like, by that
which
they
just means
consume,
believe what I believe.
Yeah, consume the same content I consume from the people that I like and make me feel good. Like, just don't bother. Like, do the thing. Like, there's not a trick with training. Yes, there are smarter and dumber ways to train and smarter and dumber ways to eat. Of course. Stop doing the research, learn what you need to learn, or hire someone or whatever, and start. But don't spend your time like, I got to figure out the perfect workout routine. I got to figure out this or that. Like, no, you don't. You need to go to the gym and train. And then when you're not getting what you need, figure out how to continue to make progress. Again, you can hire someone for that or do it yourself. Fine, either way. But this is a problem that's been solved. People are trained for many years and still continue making progress. They don't do that by spending their time researching and trying to find the perfect way to do whatever. There's no cardio that's the best. There are people that like to make arguments like, oh, rowing machine's the best cardio, running's the best cardio, walking's the best cardio, rucking's the best cardio, biking's the best cardio. No, there isn't. There's no best cardio, and I'm not gonna admit that there's a best cardio
your
for
most
everybody.
Preferred cardio.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, the cardio that you like and that you will stick to and that you enjoy is the best cardio for you. And don't try to convince everybody else that that's also the best for them.
Yeah,
it doesn't work that way.
It's like writing out an entire grocery list and never going to the store. If you're just doing all of this research and planning and never actually putting it into practice. So, and if you really want to do more research, listen to a fitness podcast while you're at the gym.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right.
I learn a lot that way. You can double up on activities like that.
Yeah, if you learn that what you're doing is dumb, then cool. Then you can fix it the next workout.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, for sure.
It's okay to build as you go when it comes to your training. Cool. That's great. But there's a lot of dumb information out there. Most of it is actually in the fitness space. I think most of the information on social media,
lies.
The vast, 90% of it is stupidity. It's actually, a lot of it's harmful. Don't listen to it.
That is true.
Yeah. Don't listen to it. What you need to do is move your body. You need to lift weights. You need to do cardio. You need to eat right. We've defined what those mean in other podcasts. We're not going to get into an exhaustive thing, but you need to do those things. How it looks to you might be different than how it looks to someone else, but it's not going to look that different. And another thing about the researching thing is you're not special. A lot of people think they're special cases because they've got this, they've got that. I remember running into a guy on Facebook. I was in a fitness group, and he didn't work out.
When you were
He's
doing
like, well,
research?
yeah, when I was researching. Yeah, I was doing research on Facebook. And he said some comment on someone after someone posted something. I don't remember what it was about. They're like, oh, I wish I could work out, but I have all these hernias due to a car accident. And it's like, so do those hernias keep you from doing like isolation work? Like, and they were irreparable, I guess. Okay, well then there are certain things you can't do. You probably can't squat or deadlift. I will agree with you there.
That's
But
it.
there are a
Never
bunch of
do
other
it again.
things.
Just never,
Yeah.
just never work out again.
Right.
Yeah, like you have, like, that's not an excuse to give up. Yes, it might be a little bit, the workouts are going to be different for you. There are certain things you won't be able to do. There's a certain degree of physical competence that you can't attain if you have certain injury history or things like that. Okay, then your training's going to look different. But it's not worse. It's just your training, and it's going to be different from other people's training. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton
that,
of machines that you have options from.
There's so many machines now.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are great, too. Like, actually, the machine world doesn't have as much junk in it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, there are a lot of great machines out there. Like, you go, like, as much as people love to hate on Planet Fitness is full of machines that do great. They work. Like, if I was someone that was stuck in a Planet Fitness and that's all I could use, wouldn't be great for powerlifting or strongman. But, like, for bodybuilding and just general fitness, Planet Fitness is fine. You can get all you need there. I have clients that, like, they only can train at Planet Fitness. Okay. That's not a big deal. It's not what I prefer. But is it going to hold them back? I actually don't think it's going to really hold them back in any meaningful way whatsoever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that, the comedian Nate Bargatze. He has this bit about like, show me the guy that got fat off eating pineapple. Ha ha ha. You know, because he was talking about someone told him fruit is evil because that's one of the like lies going around, right?
Yeah, so much
And so-
sugar.
and-
Oh my goodness.
I know, but like, it's funny because there's truth in it. And why I bring it up is because we all know that we're not going to get fat from eating pineapple. And so it's just like, what's the point of researching it? Like innately, we all know that that's not true. We all know we should be eating vegetables. We all know it's so good to move your body. We all know that meat is good for us. And so like, just stop researching and start doing the things that we all know to do.
Yeah. And maybe if you need to consider that your research, like, am I able to engage this muscle? Let me try it. Let me find out.
Yeah.
It's, you know, if you have to think of it that way, then you're never actually doing experiments. You're just sitting there reading. So
Yeah. Again, don't let perfect be the enemy of good, and don't spend much time researching. Like, go read Starting Strength and start lifting weights and like walking. Like, that's it. With your diet, go eat more protein, eat less processed foods. Yeah, you're going to have to get better than just that guidance. We have podcasts for that, though. It's not that complicated. Some people are very complicated, obviously, but the fundamentals still apply to everybody, and you can make it work. And then another thing, like, that's I think kind of related to this is like wasting time doing like trendy things. Like, there are things that are always in the moment that everyone's saying, do this, do that, machines you can buy. Like, the fundamentals still apply. You need to lift weights. You need to walk. You need to do some cardio. You need to eat better. That isn't trendy. That's not a supplement. You can't put it in a pill. It's not going to work. Like the shaker platforms that people are buying and the vibrators, and like, it's not going to do anything really for you. And if you have time to do that, you definitely have time to train. Like, it's like, that should be the last thing you should be worried about, is spending $3,000 on a device to waste your time. That's more than a year's worth of at any gym membership. You're not going to spend that much money unless it's at like a really nice private gym. So go spend the money on the gym membership and better food.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe some more workout clothes for the ladies.
Well, I think the wasted time doing some trendy things is not as wasted as doing nothing, because you're still actually
Could
doing
be.
something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, depending on what the trendy thing is.
Yeah, I'm more speaking of like trendy. I more had in mind like trendy diets and supplements, all the teas
Right.
and oils and things like that, or like keto and carnivore or vegan or any of those types of things. Like,
It's not like check out this new dumbbell. They're all
yeah,
They're all the
like,
same.
well, is it?
Yeah.
Does it get heavy enough? Then it's a great dumbbell, probably. I don't know. Like, is it weight, and does it, like, does gravity pull it down adequately? Then it's probably a good dumbbell.
Right. Or the other thing is, like, I've seen, and I know you've seen this, Amanda, like you see people go to the gym. So they actually make time to like go to the gym and have their routine, but they're doing some weird class that's just like not helpful and a waste of time. And so like they're just not getting the best bang for their buck where they are spending their time sometimes.
Yeah. I'd still much rather watch somebody do Zumba than sit on a couch. So
Yeah, or
sure.
P90X or something like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I agree, because at least they're moving. And I think that those kind of go to this next one too. I think that that's even related to this, is like looking for a way out. Looking for a way out of lifting the weights. Looking for a way out of like actually doing cardio and breathing heavy and getting sweaty. Looking for a way out of having to like, actually, all three macros are good for you in the right portions. You don't have to cut one of them out entirely. In fact, it's not usually beneficial. I think all of these actually boil down to, at the end of the day, looking for a way out and making excuses.
Generally, if you're making excuses to get out of working out, you're the kind of person who's making excuses in other areas of your life. It's just kind of what you do. And so there needs to be a reframing there. As Christians, we know we're not supposed to do things with grumbling and complaining. But that's typically who is making those types of excuses, is they are the complainers. They're the squeaky wheels, things like that. So part of it is just trying to get out of that loop. Like when you catch yourself starting to complain, make an excuse, cut it off. Actually, just try to think of a positive reason to do something, and you'll probably enjoy it more. You'll probably do the things you normally complain about with more joy, and they won't be as difficult to get through. You won't be as stressed out, and that frees up some time right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think sometimes there's a fear people have of like going to the gym when they're new, that like everyone's going to be looking at them and like, oh, why is that person there? They obviously don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, when someone's doing something dumb, people might be thinking that. You wouldn't even know it, though, because they're not going to usually say anything. But for most people, like, they're just doing their work and they don't care. Like, nobody really cares. In fact, what you'll probably find is that if you go at the same times, you see the same people and you get to know them a little bit. And, like, it actually becomes a very supportive environment. But, like, generally, people aren't really looking at you. They don't really care. They might notice that you're there, but most people are like glad that you're there because you're all sort of on the same team, like trying to make yourself better.
Yeah.
I've
seen this. Go ahead, Amanda.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. I was talking more recently.
I was just going to say, I've seen this in multiple women where it's tied to attitude just about working out, like very closely. Because a lot of guys just have no problem with the weights. They're ready to get strong. It's more fun for them. Like the gym's the easy part for a lot of guys, and the gym can be the hard part for a lot of women. And so I've seen women where it's almost like part of their identity that they begrudgingly lift, like, I know this.
They want to hate it.
Yeah, they want to hate it. And so they do it, but they still want to hate it. And it's almost part of who they are, that I do this, but I really don't like it. I wish I almost didn't have to, sort of thing. And a lot of those women I see, like, whenever there's like a possible excuse to not train, will take advantage of it. So like, like one time someone's like dog was sick and they were like, oh, I can't make it. My dog's sick. I'm just like, I don't think they're going to like die when you're gone for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, or, I'm leaving for vacation Friday, so I'm going to miss all my workouts this week. It's just like, are you packing like all week? Things like that. Like, they're almost like ready to jump ship at the first like inconvenient sort of thing. And so, anyway, my advice, or when I ask them, is sometimes like, you know that you can stop hating it, right? Like you actually can choose to like work on your attitude towards the weights. And if you would quit just telling yourself how much you hate it, you would probably start to enjoy it and stop trying to always look for a way out all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I think any of us who have trained somebody in person have experienced the one that just the whole time, oh, we're doing one more set of this, and oh, this is too hard, and I hate it. And
yeah,
I'm like, if you instead say, wow, I did that hard thing, then you're more likely to stick with it. You're more likely to keep making that time in your schedule instead of just, you're trying to force yourself to dread it, like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be a hater.
Yeah.
It's not cool. It's not as cool as you think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get it.
The whining doesn't look good on anybody.
It doesn't. Yeah. And I get that sometimes we all have to just like start doing the thing that we don't want to do. But it's just like anything in life. Like you can make anything as joyful as you want. And you can always make things worse with your attitude as well. Like you do actually have a lot of control over the joy that you find in things just through your mentality and your heart behind it. So like, if nothing else, like dig deep for some purpose and some big picture. Yeah.
It's not just for yourself. I mean, it's for your family. It's for everyone that you serve that's in your life. And as we've said so many times, when you overcome these types of barriers, it gets you better at overcoming other barriers in your life. So many people we work with will tell us about how this carries over into other places, the discipline, etc. Like it has other parts. You will become more disciplined at everything, not just at training. Like it has a huge carryover in life. And that's part of why we do it. So like you get this right, other things will also begin to get right. It has a huge spillover effect. So cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that pretty much does it. If you are like wasting time on the phone, if you got time for Netflix or whatever else, you've got time to train. There's always a way to reorient your schedule. You're not a victim of the things on your schedule. Those are all pretty much choices you made, unless you're in prison, but then you're probably not listening to this. And there's probably a gym if you're in prison. Yeah, you've got all the time, so I don't want to hear it. Yeah, like you got lots of time. So those people, I mean, come on. So like, there's a way to make it happen. There's a way to make it work. It's more like, do you want it enough? And are you going to be responsible enough to make it happen? If not, that's on you. It didn't happen to you. You made this choice. So go to the gym, go buy some gym equipment, do whatever it is. Like, yeah, you might have to make some changes that are really tough for a while. I promise you it does get easier. You just have to grow that skill, move on, and that gets better, other things get better. Mm-hmm. So if you're someone that's hearing this and you're not sure how to do it, we do help people navigate even scheduling. Mm-hmm. That's why we make custom programs, because we have to be realistic with what people can do sometimes, and actually like help them figure out what's actually best for their specific situation, because it is individual. So if you want help with that, of course we can help. You can go to highcallingfitness.com. We'd be happy to talk to you, meet you, learn more about you, and figure out how we can help. And until then, gains and grace.
Gains and grace.
Gains and grace.